Wareham, a couple points above them, also win.
Cemented in that third spot for a while now, and that could change
the shortstop from UCLA. Very different lineup than we're used to seeing, but a lot of key components of this lineup who have been pretty solid lately.
Yeah, and again, I think it's kind of similar to the bottom third last night. Those guys, Matt Nelson, Steven Moretto, and Austin Maisel. Guys who were struggling offensively, but the bats were so hot as a team that they were hoping to get those other bats rolling, and they did. Steven Moretto with 3 hits last night, his first home run. Maisel, a couple of hits of his own. I look at guys like Tawa, Claunch, Ross, Moretto, and Kendall, again, as guys who can maybe benefit from the team's offensive success and get going themselves.
And Blake Dunn is a guy who we haven't really seen in the leadoff spot because Cantrell is just, getting on base pretty much every at-bat. But Dunn is a leadoff man himself. He leads the team in walks. He's got a ton of speed, so he can really wreak havoc on the base paths if he can get on base.
5 walks on the summer, but you might expect him to throw a few more balls to Zach Deloach because he doesn't want to give him anything to hit.
Zach with 4 home runs on the summer. Here's a 3-1. Gets a good pitch, and he tips it into the glove of Wells. Full count. David, your difference maker in this game was get to Seymour early, try to knock him out of the ball game. So far in the first inning, nobody has reached base, but they have worked 2 3-ball counts. Payoff pitch from Ian, grounded over towards second base. Beesley, the center fielder, then Austin Wells, the catcher. First pitch from Chris Gonzalez is fouled right at the feet of the left-handed shortstop. Noah Campbell batting cleanup and designated hitting. Tate Samuelson in the 5-hole at first base. Riley King in the 6-hole at third. Jake Palmer, the right fielder, batting 7th, followed by Andrew Eyster, the left fielder, and R.J. Yeager, the last man in this lineup, playing second base for YD. Mentioned how they're third in team batting average. Well, they're only a couple of points behind Falmouth. At 259 are the Red Sox. Here's the 0-1 from the lefty Gonzalez. It's grounded towards first. Claunch with a nice backhand up high. Close play at first base, but Gonzalez just barely wins the foot race ahead of the speedy Young.
Close play. Claunch way over off the bag to his right, and those can be tough, but Chris Gonzalez doing a good job getting off the mound and getting over to the bag. Young with a ton of speed.
Young, a very good hitter, came into today batting .366, but he's put down on a ground out in inning number 1. First pitch to the right-handed swinging Brad Beesley, a breaking ball that settles over the knees, strike 1. So far, so good for Chris Gonzalez. We know that he's had some rough patches during this season, but as long as he's throwing strikes early, he should be okay. Fly ball into right field. That one's shallow. Coming on in is Deloach. He's under it, and he makes the catch, so 2 early outs in the first.
Both pitchers working quickly right now, and that's what you want to do if you're Chris Gonzalez, because Beesley and Young are 2 of the best hitters on this team. It might not show with Beasley's average at 254, but he's in the 2 spot for a reason. He's been red hot as of late. Guys who get on base a ton for the Red Sox.
Austin Wells will take his first hacks, the left-handed bat playing catcher. He watches ball number 1 miss outside. I mentioned that when it comes to Chris Gonzalez, if he's, hitting his spots early, then he's usually in good shape. Typically when we see him struggle, it's because he's behind in counts and leaves pitches over the plate. Right now he's gotten behind in a count after 2 straight balls to start off Wells.
Austin Wells, .323 average on the summer. Pac-12 Player of the Year.
Arizona Wildcat bounces one over towards Jeff Trundy in that coach's corner right next to the dugout. 2 balls and a strike to Wells from Las Vegas, Nevada. Has hits in 3 of his last 4, keeping himself well above 300. The 2-1. Another low pitch. This one is bounced up the middle. Kevin Kendall gets there. It's going to be after a quick throw over to first, and he gets it in time. A 6-3 putout to retire the side. Both pitches settle down the opposing lineups in order, and we'll go to the top of the second, tied at 0 on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Top two we go at Red Wilson Field. Still neither team has gotten a base runner through one. Trei Cruz is going to try to change that narrative. The cleanup man from Rice University. From the right side of the plate, swings at this one, lopes it out towards foul territory along the right side of the field, but it falls out of play.
So far, so good from the pitchers. Top of the order, having trouble getting things going for each team.
Trei Cruz, a .318 average on the summer, and despite being in the cleanup spot, doesn't really have that, cleanup, figure or cleanup stats. Watches a ball outside. Only one home run, does have 14 RBIs. Typically, you think of cleanup hitters as, those first basemen or outfielders who have a ton of power. He's a middle infielder who more or less hits for contact. 1-1, bounded over towards third base. Riley King is there. The throw on to first in plenty of time. That's now 3 groundouts to the first 4 hitters. That's how you know that Seymour's dealing.
Yeah, he's looking great. As expected. Kind of surprising that he has a losing record on the summer at 1-2. He also might have been an all-star snub. I know we mentioned Carmen Majinski for the Commodores, who pitched last night as perhaps deserving of an all-star spot.
Now stepping in is Taylor Smith, the catcher. The guy hits for power constantly, and that will pay off in a bandbox here at Red Wilson Field, where to dead center it's not even over 370. First pitch, fastball settles in for a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, we do see some balls sneak out of here at Red Wilson Field. That fence is about 8 feet tall.
Righty-lefty matchup. The righty Smith takes a ball.
The one thing we noticed last time we were here, though, it doesn't really arch that much, so dead center is about the same depth as it is down the left and right field line, which is uncommon.
Seymour working quickly from the windup, fires a pitch below the knees that Smith obliges, and he is down 1-2.
Smith's last start was against Chatham, 15-6 win for Falmouth. He had his 5th home run of the year and his first single.
Watches a ball. That was his first and only multi-hit game on the summer. Typically when he gets a hit, it's a loud one, a home run or an extra base hit, but it's only one. And he does have the strikeout bug biting him. 7 strikeouts in his last 4 games played. Seymour, a strikeout pitcher. Here's the 2-2, and he won't get a K there as Smith fouls one back.
Seymour, a guy who averages almost 2 strikeouts per inning, still in search of his first K tonight, and that's a good sign for Falmouth. That means they're putting the ball in play and lining up his pitch as well.
Seymour kicks and fires another 2-2 pitch. That one on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. The first K of the evening for Ian Seymour, and Taylor Smith is the recipient for out number 2 in the second.
Smith with a quick word to Claunch. I always like watching to see if they give each other tips on the way to the batter's box, if they're exchanging any words, advice about the pitcher. I think Smith did there.
Trei Claunch, the recipient of the words as he tries to improve his fortunes as of late, 2 for his last 14. First pitch to Claunch, down and in. Oregon State Beaver, who's normally a catcher or a designated hitter, but the last couple days has been playing first base for the Commodores. Trying to break this scoreless tie with 2 outs and nobody on. 1-0 is cut on and missed. That fastball is just jumping on these hitters.
Yeah, I think Falmouth is close, though. Putting the ball in play, it's just a matter of time before they find the gaps. Seymour doing a good job to keep the pitch count low.
1-1 cut on and missed as Claunch looks at his left hand because he lost that hand on the bat. That's his bottom hand that completely slipped off when he made his swing.
Yeah, he's really squeezing the bat now, trying to make sure he's got a good grip on it. Swiping off his batting gloves because I'm sure these players are sweating quite a bit in the hot sun.
Yeah. Probably the hottest game of the summer so far. Here's the 1-2. Down and away. Hayden Cantrell, even though he has the night off, sitting next to Jeff Trundy throughout the first couple of innings, and easily the loudest, most talkative guy from the Falmouth side.
Most encouraging as well.
2-2 from Seymour, swung on and missed, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks cap off the second inning, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for the pitcher from Virginia Tech. To the bottom of the second we go, 0-0, your score.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Home second at Red Wilson Field. The Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox will take their hacks, led off by Noah Campbell, the cleanup man. It'll be Campbell, Samuelson, and Riley King in this bottom of the second inning, with Chris Gonzalez having a fantastic first. Haven't seen him open up a game like that in quite some time. First pitch skips off the plate to Campbell, the right-handed designated hitter from the University of South Carolina.
Interesting story picked up by our own Maxwell Trink. The Commodores went to a MLB evaluation, was it a test? Seminar, MLB seminar here in Yarmouth today.
1-0 grounded towards third. Moretto on a backhand fields it cleanly. His long throw to first with a great stretch from Claunch seals the deal. A 5-3 putout to begin the second.
Great play by Moretto. It got to him in a hurry, fielded it on a backhand, body moving towards the left, and a great throw. Didn't even skip as Claunch caught it, but going back to what I was saying, they had a lot of time between when the seminar ended and when they needed to be here at Red Wilson Field. So Gonzalez and a few others went to the mall and did an escape room, and also did VR.
Yep. Very relaxing, if not busy day, as there's a hit up the middle. Trei Cruz tries to make the backhanded scoop. Probably wouldn't have gotten the out at first anyway, even if he came up with it cleanly. It bounces off of the heel of his glove and rolls away, and Tate Samuelson will have a hit.
Nice piece of contact from Samuelson. A couple things I noticed. Gonzalez almost made that catch just a little bit late getting the glove up because it was back his way in a hurry. And I think that Trei Cruz being at second base as a traditional shortstop, that's why he looked a little awkward trying to backhand that one up the middle. He's used to fielding balls in his forehand for the most part at short.
That's the first base runner of the ball game for either side, as ball number 1 comes in outside to Riley King. King from the University of Georgia has been red hot recently, 6 for his last 10. The 1-0. Grounded slowly towards the right side. This will only be one if they can even get one. The flip on to Gonzalez at first. No. King beat it out. Troy Claunch had to come in a long ways and flipped it from his knees. Gonzalez got there in time, but Riley King was just a step ahead of him. Safe is the call.
And that's the kind of hit that we saw against Carmen Majinski last night, right? A little dink in the infield. Gets off the mound in a hurry, but gets a tough break. Nothing Gonzalez did wrong there. But now he really has to settle in and avoid letting these hits string together.
Could have been a 1-2-3 inning all on softly hit ground balls. Instead, it's 1 out and 2 runners on base thanks to 2 of those infield singles just finding holes. Jake Palmer is going to step up to the plate with 2 men on. Runner in scoring position is Tate Samuelson, the first baseman. So not the most speed, but he was able to leg out a hit just a couple batters ago. Gonzalez from the stretch has that glove in front of his chest. Comes home with the first pitch, breaking ball down the middle for a strike.
It's a good curveball by Gonzalez against Palmer. Palmer taking his time to get back into the box. Double play would end the inning here for the Doors as the middle infield is shaded towards second base.
Seen a lot of ground balls from Gonzalez so far. 3 outs of the 4 he's gotten this game have been on grounders. Here's another one towards short. Kevin Kendall, a nice backhanded flip over to Cruz. Throw on to first in time. 6-4-3 double play ends the inning, and some leather flashed by Kevin Kendall. That one took a quirky hop, but he stayed with it. Gonzalez and the Doors get out of the inning as the Red Sox score no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and they strand a runner on base. As we go to the top of the 3rd inning, it's still 0-0 in Yarmouth.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Top of the 3rd we go at Red Wilson Field in Yarmouth. Danny LaRose, David Korzenowski on the call on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network, with the Commodores and the Red Sox tied up at 0. So far it's been 6 up and 6 down for the Doors, as Ian Seymour has looked as sharp as ever. Doors will look to Tyler Ross, Steven Moretto, and Kevin Kendall in this half inning to try to get the offense going.
Ross, I think, takes the cake. Most versatile player on this team.
Yeah, maybe on the Cape. First pitch to the switch hitter, batting from the right side, fouls one away. He's a switch hitter who also plays a little bit of infield, has seen a lot of action at first base this summer, DHing tonight, but has been an extra base machine as of late, has also gotten a couple of starts recently on the mound. 0-1 from Seymour, swung on and missed on an off speed.
So his last time that he played was the 11th against Chatham. He went 4 innings in the bloodbath of a game out at Veterans Field, 15-6 win for Falmouth.
0-2, high fastball that is foul tipped into the mitt of Austin Wells. 3 straight strikeouts worked by Ian Seymour from the second, now into the third.
But to keep going on Ross, we see guys who are two-way players, but I don't think as solid at both. You know, right. It seems like if you're a pitcher and a hitter, one is clearly better than the other. Ross is a solid pitcher, and he's been great at the plate as well.
First pitch to the right-handed swinging Steven Moretto is tapped, high chopper over towards third. Took him a second to realize that one was fair, and that might have been the difference as it was fielded and thrown over in plenty of time for out number 2.
Yeah, he took half a second to get out of the box because he thought it was going to leak foul. Nice play by Riley King, fielding it on a high hop and a strike over to first base.
So the Doors quickly with 2 outs in the third inning, pretty much going down without a whimper. Only 4 pitches thrown by Seymour in this half inning. Kevin Kendall will try to buck that trend. First pitch to the left-handed swinging shortstop is taken for a strike right down Broadway.
Man, Seymour looks great. He could possibly push it to 6 if he keeps going at this pace.
0-1, another fastball that catches the plate, 0-2.
I mean, he's only thrown 34 pitches, Danny, 21 strikes, 13 balls.
Trying to keep this inning's pitch count in single digits. The 0-2 is fouled away up and above the YD dugout.
Kendall, a guy trying to get going offensively as well, 184 average. The only Commodore who was held without a hit in the game against Chatham.
He is 3 for his last 25, so he definitely could use one. 0-2 from Seymour. A half swing by Kevin Kendall as he just tries to make contact with the pitch. A beautiful breaking ball beats him. 2 strikeouts in this half inning. Ian Seymour is dealing. It is 9 up and 9 down for the Doors through 3 innings as we head to the bottom of the third. 0-0 in Yarmouth.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Home third at Red Wilson Field, a 0-0 score between the Doors and the Red Sox. YD have been the only ones who have done anything offensively as they have put 2 runners on base, both of them in the second inning, both of them on infield singles. So nothing has really been going with the bats for either side, just YD getting a little bit more lucky. Andrew Eyster is going to lead off for the Red Sox against Chris Gonzalez. Righty against the lefty Gonzalez as the first pitch is a breaking ball taken down below the knees.
Gonzalez looking solid his first time through the order, which we've seen before. It's just when he gets to the leadoff man yet again, how he'll respond.
1-0 is clapped back up the middle. Trei Cruz fields it on a backhand behind second base. Throw to first. A beautiful pick made out of the dirt by Troy Claunch, and it is a wacky 4-3 putout. But a great throw from Trei Cruz and an even better stretch from Claunch.
I spoke too soon. When Samuelson singled up the middle, I said that Cruz maybe looked a little bit awkward playing second base, moving over to his right, fielding it on the backhand behind second base bag. He did that exactly against Eyster, who is desperate for a hit down to 226 average on the summer. What a play by Cruz, and you hit on it too. A great pick by Claunch.
First pitch to RJ Yeager, grounded right at Steven Moretto, who's positioned perfectly. His throw to first in time. Back-to-back ground ball outs. and Chris Gonzalez is dealing through the first 9.
All right, so this is when it gets it key for Chris Gonzalez. Wyatt Yound, Brad Beesley both went down quickly in the first inning. But now it's their second time up, and Gonzalez has talked to us before. He says, the first time through the order, I feel pretty good, but then the hitters make an adjustment, and I don't know how to adjust. We'll see how he does second time against the Red Sox.
First pitch to Young. That one skied into left field. That is easily playable out there, and the catch will be made by Tawa. A 1-2-3 inning on less than 10 pitches for Chris Gonzalez. These first 3 innings have flown by in a matter of 30 minutes, David.
Unbelievable. Yeah, both pitchers look great, and Gonzalez putting together so far his best outing of the summer.
Really quick first third of the game as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Still 0-0 on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. We'll be right back.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Top of the 4th inning, 0-0 your score. Just 2 hits for the Red Sox and none for the Doors, as we bring in our third member, Katie Florio, to talk about how these teammates get along off the field. Katie.
Thanks, David. And one great tradition that a ton of these guys seem to do every year is swap clothing items from all of their respective schools. For example, Trei Claunch has been wearing Sam Weatherly's Clemson cleats for a while now. And before the game, I was talking to Troy, and he said that it's so great to trade these items from other school because once the summer is over, you're able to look in your closet and you just use it as a memento to remember the guys that you've played with. They have all formed relationships and friendships, and so it's just a great way to remember that specific summer.
Thanks so much, Katie. And we've seen players do that quite a bit. I know another 2 were Tommy Sheehan and Nick Nastrini, UCLA and Notre Dame pitchers. On Tommy's last day on the Cape, he came out in the parking lot wearing a bright blue shirt with the gold lettering for the UCLA Bruins. And I talked to Nick, and he got a few Notre Dame shirts as well, so really great tradition.
Yeah, well, it works out for Tommy because, UCLA is USC's rival. So
yeah, there you go.
Guess he's
the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
There you go.
Back here for the top of the 4th inning, David Korzanowski joined alongside Danny LaRose. As we mentioned, absolutely flying through this game. 5:37 is the local time. Blake Dunn shows bunt on the first pitch from Seymour. It's way high, so he pulls back. 1 ball and no strikes.
David, something I love doing on road broadcasts is describing the uniforms both teams are playing because the listener cannot see, and that paints a great picture as this one's fouled away. Paints a great picture. I never got the chance to do that because
you want to do it?
Seymour was going super quickly,
right,
and Gonzalez was getting fast outs too.
Right.
There's no spot.
Here you go.
All right. Falmouth, road blacks, as we know.
Yeah.
Black uniforms, gray pants with the maroon lettering and the Falmouth across the chest. YD in their home whites with the Red Sox across the chest. Red lettering. White hat with a red brim, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, these are nice home whites for the Red Sox, no question about it. They look a lot like the minor league affiliates of the Boston Red Sox. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It's dropped by Austin Wells. And Blake Dunn goes down a strikeout victim. Now 5 of the last 6 batters that Falmouth has put up to the plate have struck out.
Yeah, the first 4 hitters of the ball game all went down, pretty easily, ground balls, pop-outs. They were working long counts. They weren't striking out, so I was thinking, oh, this might be a really good sign. They're getting out, but they're working good ABs,
exactly.
And they're limiting Seymour's, lethal ability to K guys up, and that has not been the case these past couple batters.
Now 37 strikeouts on the summer. Tim Tawa takes a ball high and away. He's up in the count, 1-0. Commodores dugout still loud and quite into this game. It's still 0-0 in the top of the 4th. Second pitch is nubbed foul. Zach Deloach on deck. Family in town from down in the Lone Star State. Baron Radcliffe's father also on the Cape, as well as Blake Dunn's family and Hayden Cantrell's. The 1-1. Over towards second base. R.J. Yeager moves over to his left and throws on to first. Tawa busting down the line, but but he can't get there in time. Now 11 up and 11 down for Falmouth.
And none of these have really been close. I mean, these have been a lot of soft ground balls. We've seen a pop out, and everything else has been strikeouts. There have been no loud outs, to deep left field that, the outfielder was able to track down, and no hard struck balls on a diving play or anything like that. Nothing has really beaten Seymour. He has been keeping this Falmouth lineup really, really quiet and down for the count. We'll see if he can continue this through the second time through the lineup, but 1 and 2, he's put down easily 2 times.
Zach Deloach ground ball down the first base line, just a couple feet foul. Dashing over to it was Tate Samuelson, who's manning first base, so 0-1. I've also noticed, too, that a lot of the Commodores pushing it to the opposite field, meaning maybe they're a little bit late on the fastball. The only 2 batters, to my count, who have pulled a ground ball are Zach Deloach, the lefty who grounded out to second base, and Steven Moretto, the righty who grounded out to third.
Trei Cruz did 2 to third.
Swing and a miss from Deloach.
But your point stands, because a lot of these swinging strikes on the fastballs, I mean, obviously because they're a little bit behind it. This fastball seems like it has a lot of zip from Seymour. I don't know what it's exactly clocking in at. Nothing that blows you away, no Zach Brixey velocity, but again, it's got giddy up.
A teammate of Zach Brixey's delivers the 0-2. It's a slider outside that's taken by Deloach.
This was Virginia Tech's kind of pride and joy throughout the spring, was that they really touted their rotation, and Seymour was an important cog in that.
1-2, fouled away.
They were a really struggling team. They did not even sniff close to the postseason. But at the same token, early on, they were a big sleeper pick in the ACC to maybe be competitive because that rotation was so good. Their offense definitely not there, but there were a lot of one-score, one-run, two-run games that Virginia Tech pitching was able to keep them in.
The 1-2 from the windup is Seymour. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the mitt. And strike number 3. Zach Deloach is a strikeout victim, the 6th of the night for the Doors, and the 3rd straight inning in which Seymour has struck out 2 Falmouth Commodores. He is perfect through 4 innings of work. To the home half of the 4th inning we go. It's 0-0. You're listening to the Falmouth Commodores.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Brad Beesley, Austin Wells, and Noah Campbell, 2, 3, and 4, due up here in the 4th inning. First pitch from Chris Gonzalez misses just a hair low. Danny, pitchers duel to the max right now.
Again, we're going back-to-back on just bad predictions.
Ground ball over towards Moretto. He fields a sharp hop, spins, and throws onto first. Beautiful play by Steven Moretto for the first out.
I just want to watch Steven Moretto take infield, outfield.
Right.
Because every quirky hop he stays with, whether it's forehand, backhand, whether he has to move a lot, even has to slide, and every throw is great too. I mean, we know that he is able to throw strikes every time he's all the way near the bag, which is about a 180-foot throw. But even when he has to make a spinorama in the shortstop hole, still fires a strike every time. It's really impressive to see this guy day in and day out.
Austin Wells grounded out to short his first time up. He swings at the first pitch and slices it into left field. On a line for Tim Tawa, 2 down. He smoked that ball, though.
Yeah, big exit velocity on it, but Tawa positioned perfectly. It was a great line drive from Wells. Just got to hit it where they ain't. It sounds simple, but it's really hard. And again, Chris Gonzalez with quick outs in this 4th inning. Like we said, yesterday we thought it was going to be a high-scoring game, that Falmouth was going to be the one who maybe blew out Brewster. This game we said, I thought it was going to be a neck-and-neck slugfest, maybe like 7-7 entering the latter half of the game.
First pitch to Noah Campbell is a strike. He has gotten a lot of quick outs. We mentioned how Seymour's count was low. 23 pitches for Chris Gonzalez. We're in the 4th inning. Here's a hard hit fly ball into right field. Deloach is ranging over, but it lands well foul. 0-2 the count.
Part of the reason he's gotten a lot of quick outs is he's throwing a lot of strikes and getting a lot of contact. But as we've seen these last couple of times, Wells with a scorcher, now Noah Campbell put that one nearly over the fence. Would have fallen foul, but he's got to be careful throwing strikes too much.
The 0-2. Foul ball for Trei Claunch. He dives but can't get there. Gets some praise from his Falmouth teammates in the dugout who he was running towards. Yeah, Commodores occupying the first base dugout, YD on the third base.
That was a full extension from first base. I mean, typically you see an outfielder try to do that. Trei Claunch, full send on that.
Trying to keep up with the pace of this game. The 0-2 from the lefty. Curveball just outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He had an extremely quick 3rd inning and 1st. He let up 2 hits in the 2nd, but got out of it with an inning-ending double play. That means he's faced just 1 over the minimum. The 1-2, ground ball over to 3rd. Moretto moving back. It goes off his glove and into left field. Steven Moretto, who has been busy tonight with 3 groundouts, makes the first error of this game. There's 1 aboard.
And really 2 out of the 3 of them were really tough plays to make, so I guess he was due for an error, and I can't even blame him too much. He decided to take a couple steps back, knowing that that ball was well struck, that it was going to take a few hops, didn't want to field it on the lip of the grass because that can always give you trouble, and I thought that was the right decision. He trusts his arm strength. All of a sudden, as it's jumping up towards his glove, it just kind of, finds some exit velocity and skips up over it.
First pitch to Tate Samuelson, who got the first hit of this ball game in the 2nd inning, is a ball outside. Noah Campbell stands on first, just the 3rd base runner of the game. Gonzalez from the stretch, fastball, foul. Down the right field line, 1-1 the count.
A lot of hot contact in this half inning.
Yeah. YD Red Sox seem to be squaring them up a little bit better. 2nd time through the order, we saw a loud out from Austin Wells into left field. Hard hit ground ball from Brad Beesley. Gonzalez still holding the Red Sox at bay as he checks on Campbell at first base. 6 stolen bases for the South Carolina Gamecock. He's been caught just once. Success rate at 83%.
That's a lot of speed from a cleanup man. That's really impressive, and that's a great asset to have, especially in what's looking like a pitcher's duel. Any inch counts.
The 1-1. Popped on the infield. Up is the chorus of calls from the Falmouth dugout, and Cruz makes the catch. He calls off Trei Claunch at the last minute and leaves a runner stranded due to the YD Red Sox. No runs on no hits, 1 error for the Falmouth Commodores, but they leave him left on base. To the 5th inning we go. 0-0 is your score on the Falmouth Commodores
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back to Red Wilson Field. 0-0 the score. Seymour still on the mound, and he has still blanked the Commodores. No runs on no hits, no base runners for Falmouth as he is out to start his 5th frame.
Yeah, he has been flawless, and he's looking flawless. He is looking like an all-star right now. I'm thinking he's kind of an all-star snub. I mean, this guy didn't have the flashiest numbers at a 3.25 ERA, but that's still pretty darn good. And that strikeout number is just so impressive. And right now, he is pitching as good as I have seen anybody on the Cape. And we've seen some great performances. I mean, I remember Logan Allen way back early in the summer for Harwich blanked the Commodores throughout most of a 7-inning game and was by far the most efficient and best pitcher we saw. I think Seymour's looking better than Allen did that week.
Logan Allen named to Team USA. He has since departed for the Mariners. Might be back at the end of the summer. First pitch to Trei Cruz is fouled away. Here's the second. This one is immediately taken into the chest protector of the home plate umpire, Joe Caraco. He goes down and puts his hands on his knees, takes an extra breath, and now talks to Trei Cruz, who I'm sure is checking on the man in blue.
Yeah, there was no swing from Cruz, so it's not like it was a foul ball. It wasn't caught by Wells. He kind of just let that one fly right over his glove. I don't know what the miscommunication there was. Maybe he was expecting breaking ball and Seymour went with a fastball, but it stayed about middle in and, again, hit Caraco right on the chest as the first base umpire, Mike Chamberlain, walks over to check on his home plate man, and third base, Jeffrey Mertzel, comes on in as well as Joe Caraco, just kind of talking with them. I think just got the wind knocked out of him.
He's smiling, and Scott Pickler, Jeff Trundy, the two managers, checking on the home plate ump as well. He seems to be all right. He's been pretty solid behind the plate, too. Not like he's had to make too many tough calls with these pitchers. But
pretty much everything has been a strike, and when it's been a ball, it's been obviously a ball. There have been no oohs or ahs from either dugout or any of the fans on, ooh, close pitch, would have liked it the other way. And the batters have been swinging, too.
The 1-1 from Seymour, swung on and missed by Trei Cruz. He came up way empty on that one, and he is just lethal right now.
Yeah, that looked like a changeup, and this guy's got so many pitches he can go to. His curveball, and changeup are such great assets, along with that fastball that is dotting every part of the plate.
Taylor Smith on deck. The 1-2 into right field, and it lands for a base hit. Trei Cruz extends his hitting streak to 5 games. And finally, the Commodores have a base runner here in the top of the 5th.
So somebody jinxed the perfect game. Trei Cruz finally breaks through against Seymour, who was perfect, threw 4, carried it into the 5th inning. But Trei, that's what you like to see. I mean, that's an opposite field hit, but that's not an opposite field hit because he's late and got lucky type thing. That's more, he's going with where the pitch is going. He's not trying to do too much with it. And we've seen the Commodores' entire lineup at their most productive when they have that mentality. Just go with the pitch. Don't try to, hit it over the fence. Don't try to yank it or anything like that. Just take what you can get.
Pitching from the stretch for the first time tonight is Seymour. He rears back and fires a strike to Taylor Smith. Short-term memory working in Seymour's favor as he digs in his left cleat on the left side of the mound. Glove perched on his right chest. He looks in to Austin Wells, settles with the glove at the belt, looks over towards first, steps off and throws. Nice pickoff move as Cruz slides in safely.
It's one of those where he doesn't lift the leg. All he does is moves his back foot beyond the rubber, which is stepping off as you need to do, and then kind of flings it all arm over towards first base. So if Cruz is sleeping, he's going to be a dead duck.
Check on him again. Cruz is in safely, standing up this time. 5 stolen bases on the year for the second baseman. It's been caught just twice. One of 5 Commodores named to the All-Star team. He'll be starting at third base. Not exactly where he plays most of the summer,
twice.
But he's been there 2 times. The 0-1. Inside and low to Taylor Smith, count even.
I really thought Cruz was going to steal. He started going for the first 3 or 4 steps, and I think it might have thrown Seymour off a little bit. But I would be shocked if Trei tries to run just because that pickoff move is so great, and his delivery towards home is so quick.
Yeah. He's also got the hot fastball to help him out. Check on Cruz again. Commodores first in the Cape League in stolen bases with 48. YD second at 37. Seymour exhales, takes a look into Austin Wells as Taylor Smith waves the bat by his ankles and brings it back above his right shoulder. Checks on Cruz again, as Taylor Smith perhaps getting a little bit antsy in the batter's box.
He just wants to swing. It's pretty much every time he does, he drives it.
The wind has completely settled here at Red Wilson Field. He is going. Slides in head first. No throw from Wells. 49th stolen base of the year and 6th for Trei Cruz, a runner in scoring position for Falmouth.
I don't know what it was about that pitch, but it looked like it was a little bit slower. It was up and away, so it pretty much teed up Wells perfectly for a throw down to second base, but whether he didn't get the grip on the ball or whether he decided better of it because Cruz got a good jump, but it looked like Seymour was all over Trei, that he was giving Trei no room for error, that everything was close, and all of a sudden, one little hiccup and Cruz capitalizes.
Nobody out. Ground ball could advance the base runner. Here is a high fly ball, well foul, out to the left side. Some fans with a long run to go and get the ball.
That thing went 600 feet. And he pulls it every time. I mean, Smith just turns on these pitches so well. His hips have that driving force that really crank everything into motion really early. And I know there's not a lot of scouting reports on the Cape. You don't see these guys too much. They don't take it as seriously, maybe statistically. But I would shift him. I would shift him pull side heavy.
2-2 count. Trei Cruz on second base with nobody out. Ball downstairs, a full count. Seymour had 2 full counts in the first inning, has not had one since until this point.
And Ian's a little frustrated. He liked that pitch. He thought Smith was going to go around, and he kind of showed it when he caught the baseball from Wells. Was a little frustrated because he didn't get the swing.
Commodores trying to put something together here in the 5th and break this scoreless tie. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Ian Seymour wins the battle. Taylor Smith strikes out for his second time today, 1 down.
Well, got to give Seymour credit because after the 2-2 pitch that Smith took, he went right back to the same pitch. 3-2, he decided, let me go in with another breaking ball. Let me keep it below the knees, threw it in the exact same spot. And this time, Taylor Smith went after it because sometimes you see it once and you get a little comfortable. You see it another time and, I don't know, just something doesn't register. And it didn't for Taylor as he goes down a strikeout victim. And Ian Seymour trusting his stuff even with 3 balls against him.
Troy Claunch now up in the batter's box, the righty batter from Oregon State. Watches a first pitch inside for a ball. Seymour already with 7 Ks tonight. He has thrown 9 strikeouts on 3 separate occasions. On pace to do the same tonight.
And he has 7 Ks on 59 pitches now. That's really impressive that every count has been pretty short.
1 ball and no strikes to the catcher who's playing first base tonight. Trei Cruz stepped off of second base with a long secondary lead. Seymour goes back there, but he moseys back in safely.
I was never much of a pitcher in my time playing, but I'm not the most adept on some of the balk rules. It looked like it almost was a balk. The way that Seymour kind of looked back towards second, he nearly fully planted his foot back down and still hadn't thrown the ball yet.
The 1-0 swung on and missed. Another low pitch from Seymour. He has struck out 7 of the last 10 batters who've come to the plate. 2 ground-out victims in Moretto and Tawa, and then the lone single on the evening from Trei Cruz, who stands at second base. Seymour lifts and delivers. Fastball high. Seymour, a native of Westboro, Massachusetts, went to St. John's High School. 2018 ACC All-Freshman team. He had a complete game this year with the Hokies. 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts against UNC. Earned him Collegiate Baseball National Player of the Week in late March. The 2-1. Fly ball that'll stay on the infield. Seymour gets off the mound and snatches it himself, 2 down.
He is settling in really well, even with runners on base. I mean, nothing is rattling this guy.
Tyler Ross steps in. He was the leadoff man in the 3rd inning and struck out on just 3 pitches. Comes in for the second time to take some hacks. On deck, Steven Moretto. Ground out victim in the 3rd as well. 2 down here in the top of the 5th. Ball outside. We saw Seymour miss a little bit high to start the game, but ever since, his balls have just been around the strike zone. The 1-0 to Tyler Ross. Switch hitter batting as a righty for the second time. He checks his swing and goes around. 1-1.
I want to see Ross be the one to get to Seymour because he's been an extra base hit machine lately. He's got doubles in 3 straight games, and it seems like when the team is struggling, Tyler Ross isn't. We saw that the 14 loss to Bourne. He had a nice hit, so maybe he can be the plug that really fills this gap.
The 1-1 skips in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike to Ross, batting an even .300 on the summer, 4 doubles and 1 RBI. Six for his last 9 at the plate, 7 for 10, including the strikeout to start his evening tonight. Designated hitting tonight for Falmouth, Baron Radcliffe, after 2 starts at DH, gets rest. Fastball just inside and a 3-1 count.
Good take by Tyler. I mean, even if you swing at that pitch, it's probably one that ties you up. You can't do much with it. At the very best, you might ground out to third, and instead he gets the benefit of the call. Really, the first close call of this ball game.
The 3-1. Fastball high, and that's a walk. First walk of the evening issued by Seymour, and now 2 runners on and 2 outs. Just the 6th walk of the summer for the lefty.
That's a great at-bat worked by Tyler Ross. Those were some close pitches. He had a great eye. I like how Falmouth is staying patient despite Seymour getting a lot of strikeouts and you know, throwing a lot of strikes, because often I say if a guy's striking you out a ton, just swing early, don't give him the chance. But the way Seymour has been pitching is he's been dotting those spots really well. You still got to be careful because you don't want to swing at those bad pitches.
Steven Moretto watches a strike down Broadway. 3 for 4 last night, his best offensive night of the summer. Had a home run and his first multi-hit game since June 16th. Tied the game at 2-2. The 0-1 from Seymour is a fastball high and away. Nice stop by Austin Wells, who pops out of his crouch and moves to his right to snatch that wild pitch.
Yeah, Seymour's starting to look a little bit more, I don't know.
Human?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Because before he was just a computer, you know, going through formulas and throwing strikes every time. Now he's making a few little mistakes here and there.
The 1-1. Swung on and missed. Beautiful off speed that Moretto went golfing for. He's up in the count 1-2.
Yeah, there have been so many pitches well below the knees that the Doors have gone after. These pitches have been really good, so that's part of the reason. At the same time, somebody's got to register that it is settling in for a ball, so maybe you just got to lay off.
Lead runner is Trei Cruz. He started the inning with a single and a stolen base. Tyler Ross just walked. Ball to Steven Moretto, just a little bit outside, so says home plate umpire Joe Caraco. Umps wearing light blue on a day that was extremely hot. It's starting to cool off as the sun is beginning to set. I shouldn't say it's setting. It's moving lower in the sky and not beating down on us as viciously as it was before the game. Seymour steps off the mound, swipes the rubber and settles back in. Top 2 buttons undone in his Red Sox jersey, revealing a blue undershirt underneath. Long look in, brim of his cap protecting him from the sun, which is right behind home plate. The 2-2. Fastball outside, full count.
A lot of 3-ball counts. Seymour again frustrated catching that ball. He kind of put a little oomph into the squeeze, so you know that he thinks that these are you know, good enough to get strikeouts. Obviously they're not strikes, but he thinks that they're good enough to get swinging strikeouts. That's what his bread and butter is getting guys to chase, and the Doors have been really good about not doing that. Yeah, there have been a good amount that they've swung at that have been out of the zone that have put them down in counts, but they've been really good about it.
Full count, 2 outs. Runners in motion. This is a ground ball back to Seymour. He jumps and squeezes and throws on to first base. The longest inning worked by the Falmouth Bats. They score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leave 2 left on base. Seymour no longer perfect. To the bottom of the 5th we go. It's still 0-0 on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Riley King will start off the bottom of the 5th inning. King, Palmer, and Eyster due up. 6, 7, and 8 for the Red Sox. Chris Gonzalez misses with a fastball low. Start off the bottom of the 5th inning. Wind now whipping yet again. This time it's coming towards us, blowing from left field into the field of play. King swings and fouls one away. One the count. Gonzalez with his longest breather in that top of the 5th. He comes back out to the mound and fires a second strike on the inside part of the plate to King, who singled his first time up.
Yeah, Gonzalez looking great even through the second time of the order.
Foul ball, sliced down the third base line towards the crowd of fans lining the bleachers, going all the way out to left field. Hard hit into shallow right field. Trei Cruz is back. He makes the catch over his shoulder. 1 out.
I mean, still a lot of soft outs. I don't know what it is about this ball game, but two of the hottest hitting teams against pitchers who pitch to contact, and everything has been finding gloves for both the men in black and the men in white. So something not clicking for these bats, and we'll see what the difference is going to be. I know that we said the difference was going to be knock out Seymour, but now it seems like whoever knocks out the starter first is going to be the team that can make the jump.
All zeros for each half inning so far in this game. Just 2 hits for YD and 1 for Falmouth. Strike 1 taken at the knees of Jake Palmer. 6-4-3 double play. Ground ball foul. 0-2 the count. Palmer grounded into a double play in what was the best offensive opportunity for the Red Sox in the second inning. They had 2 runners on with back-to-back singles, but Palmer ground ball over to Kevin Kendall, who flipped it on to Trei Cruz and on to Troy Claunch to end the inning. The 0-2. Fastball fouled, and he loses the bat on the follow-through, 0-2.
Do you think it's the heat of the game, the sweat and stuff like that, that is making a lot of guys lose a handle on the bat? They haven't been flinging it as if it's raining or anything, but I've seen a couple of Falmouth hitters, Claunch and someone else, I can't remember who, lose their bottom hand on the bat. And now that one was just thrown by Palmer of 2 or 3 feet behind him. So something with these bats, they're not really keeping a handle on it, and I think it might be the heat.
Palmer heads back to the dugout to get some extra tar on his bat. Comes back in as the sun is now getting behind some of the trees to the left here at Yarmouth Dennis Regional High School, or should I say Dennis Yarmouth Regional High School.
It's so weird.
The YD Red Sox, we have had a long conversation about this. YD Red Sox with Yarmouth first and Dennis second is really the exception in these 2 joint towns, as pretty much everything else which refers to the 2 towns is referred to as Dennis Yarmouth.
And that was first brought to my attention last week, and it was mind-altering for me. That just sounds so weird, but that's how it's normally said.
The 0-2 is a ball outside. The scoreboard out in left field reads DY
It's so weird.
on the top left. Merrill, in quotes, red, Wilson Field. with a logo of Cape Cod and the Sox in red across the right. Ground ball over towards first base, taken by Troy Claunch, who taps first base for the second out.
You know what I like about the Red Sox? And you can correct me if I'm wrong. You obviously know the Boston Red Sox a lot better than I do. But the Red Sox across the Cape Cod, that's the White Sox logo.
Correct.
And they just threw red into it. So they incorporate both Sox in the MLB into their team, which I think is kind of clever.
It has been a pitcher's duel so far in this game for those just joining us. 0-0 the score. Chris Gonzalez has faced just 2 over the minimum. Ian Seymour, 2 over the minimum as well. Swing and a miss from Andrew Eyster, the 0-1.
This is a brilliant outing from Gonzalez. And this isn't just like, wow, this is great for Gonzalez. This does a lot for his confidence. This is a good one in a smattering of tough starts. This is one of the best that we've seen from any door pitcher.
Yeah. Ball 1 misses low from the lefty from Stetson University. A guy who entering this game had an 8.80 ERA and an 0-2 record. He'd been tagged for at least 3 earned runs and 5 hits in every one of his starts. He has been locked down tonight. The 1-1, changeup just outside, 2-1.
Yeah, everything has been finding the zone, which is great. I mean, the breaking pitches haven't been hung. They haven't been upstairs at all. They've been all around the knees. His fastball, he's been keeping to the corners. So even when YD is swinging, they're not able to get a lot of contact, which we're used to seeing strong contact against Chris.
2-1 is inside. 3 balls and a strike. Gonzalez, rising junior at Stetson University from Miami, Florida. Had a 3.40 ERA during his sophomore year and a 7-3 record. Had a heavy workload, too, 92 2/3 innings of work, but he's already pitched 20 innings this summer. The 3-1 swung on and missed. He kept it low, and Eyster went after it.
Yeah, everything has been low, like I was saying. That's why we saw so many ground balls through the first couple of innings. Really only one fly ball, because we've seen a couple pop-ups, but those don't show great contact or anything, because everything has been down in the zone, which is great to see.
The 3-2 with 2 outs, just inside, ball 4. Gonzalez issues his first walk of the night, puts a runner on first with 2 outs.
He's at a part in the lineup where you really don't want to walk these guys because there's no reason to have to face the top of the lineup to start off the 6th inning when you've got a guy like Eyster who's won for his last 26, I think, at this point. RJ Yeager now stepping up to the plate. He's been ice cold as well, a batting average well below 200. And he's won for his last 12 after grounding out in the 3rd. So just throw strikes to these guys. They haven't really been connecting too much.
Fastball with a loud pop into the mitt of Taylor Smith is strike 1. Sun now behind the press box, giving us some shade finally. And the shade leaking onto the field from the third base side. Here is a fly ball foul. 0-2.
So great bounce back from Gonzalez after the walk. Fires 2 quick strikes to RJ Yeager, and now he can go anywhere. And RJ is a big strikeout guy. I mean, his 2019 stats were decent, 248 batting average, but his strikeouts were towards the top in the Division I.
The 0-2 just fouled into the screen. Yeager was with the Falmouth Commodores last summer for just a few games. One of the games he played was against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox.
Yep.
Finished the summer 1 for 5. Has been with YD all summer, but as my partner mentioned, he's been struggling at the plate, just 5 for 36 coming into this game. The 0-2 into the gap between second and first. Eyster taps second base. Yeager has a 2-out single, 2 on and 2 out.
Wasn't the most impressive single, but hey, it's a single and improves him to 6 for 37, or pardon me, for 38 now on the summer. And again, that was very softly hit, just kind of threw the bat head out at an outside pitch, was able to make contact and put it where Trei Cruz was not. The first landing spot for that baseball was about halfway on the infield dirt. That's how softly it went, but it still reaches outfield grass and puts the top of the order up with runners on base, which is hugely important in a scoreless ball game.
Hitters 1 through 4 have struggled tonight. Just 1 base runner and a combined 0 for 8. The only one who made it to first was Noah Campbell on the error from Steven Moretto in the 4th. First pitch, he slaps into the gap in right center field. This will get past Zach Deloach. Coming around to score is Andrew Eyster. RJ Yeager getting waved around all the way from first base. He slides in safely. It's a 2-out double to put the YD Red Sox up 2-0 off the bat of Wyatt Yound.
And you knew it was going to happen at some point, especially with Wyatt Yound being the guy at the plate. I mean, he is just such a potent hitter. Came into today batting .365. And at the leadoff position, had 13 RBIs. That's a lot for a leadoff man in summer ball. He is just such a great hitter. Small stature. You wouldn't expect it. He's kind of got that Jose Altuve in him, and that's what happens when you let walks happen. I mean, those were the two of the worst batters in this lineup. Two of the worst batters, you know, guys who are struggling the most out of all 10 teams on the Cape. Gives one of them a free pass, another one gets a soft hit, and you get burned when you get to their better hitters.
Ball one misses low to Brad Beesley. Wyatt Young's 5th double of the year. A chorus of praise from the YD faithful here on this Sunday night, as this game has been scoreless until just a moment ago. 2-0 the Red Sox lead. Gonzalez pitching from the stretch still with Young at second base. The 1-0 is a strike at the knees to Beesley, who's 0 for 2 with a pop-out and a ground-out. Young standing at just 5'7", 165, a rising sophomore at Pepperdine. But he was named a Cape League All-Star, 1 of 4 for YD. Ball 2 misses just outside on the off-speed from Gonzalez.
I mean, his stats back it up, the way he plays the game as well. The guy has been kind of like a Hayden Cantrell, where all season long he has been just so good at the plate, has not been streaky at all, very consistent.
From Honolulu, Hawaii, here's a ground ball from Beesley. It's slapped down by Gonzalez, who gets off the mound and underhands it on to Trei Claunch. The YD Red Sox strike first. They score 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. So far, the 2-run, 2-out double from Wyatt Yound is the difference as we enter the 6th on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Kevin Kendall, Blake Dunn, and Tim Tawa due up here in the top of the 6th. The Doors now trail 2-0 after a 2-spot put up in the bottom of the 5th. 2 RBI double from Wyatt Yound. Swinging and missing at the first pitch is Kevin Kendall, who was a strikeout victim his first time up.
And Seymour does not miss a beat. I mean, that very first pitch, beautiful off speed, and Kendall is way out ahead.
Second pitch skips low. Seymour does have that pitch count now at 75. 45 strikes, 30 balls. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, and allowed just 1 hit. The 1-1. This one is smoked into right field. Making the catch is Jake Palmer over his shoulder. But that one got to the outfield in a hurry.
Yeah, that was a laser. That was easily the hardest hit ball of the game for Falmouth. Unfortunately, it goes to Palmer, who's playing really deep out there in right. I mean, you kind of got to when the fence is that close in. Again, like we said, this fence barely getting past 370, 380 here at Red Wilson. And Palmer kind of lackadaisical tracking that ball down, nearly had to jump for it. So Kevin Kendall just robbed of a double.
Foul ball from Blake Dunn, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. He's the guy who had his most success about a week and a half ago. The 0-1 again skips in the dirt. The off speed from Seymour, a little shaky here in the 6th. He was 6 for 9 in back-to-back games against Katuitt. But since then has been a little bit quiet. His average dropping back down to 243 after briefly being at an even 300. The 1-1. Ball 2. Dunn from Western Michigan leading off tonight with no Hayden Cantrell in the lineup. He's traditionally been the 2-hitter for the Falmouth Commodores. Here is one poked out into center field. Having a read on it and making the catch is Brad Beesley, 2 down.
Doors are getting good wood on some of these pitches. I mean, that one not nearly as well hit, but it went a far ways off the end of the bat, which is pretty impressive to see from Dunn. So it looks like Seymour doesn't have the Falmouth hitters pretty much on strings right now. He's not their puppet master anymore. But at the same time, time's running out. Seymour is still shoving, and you got to put together a string of hits in order to get back in this one. Only down 2, but you know, one hit here and there isn't going to do it, even though it shows that Seymour's not perfect.
Strike 1 to Tim Tawa. He popped out in the 1st, grounded out in the 4th. Seymour did not allow a base runner until the leadoff man in the 5th inning. Ball number 1, misses outside to the righty from Stanford. Tawa entering his junior year with the Cardinal, coming off a .253 campaign. Ground ball left side, fielded by Wyatt Yound. Throw onto first base in time, and another 1-2-3 inning worked by Ian Seymour. He has been exceptional. It's now his longest outing of the summer. 5 of his innings were perfect, including this one. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. To the bottom of the 6th we go. 2-0 YD on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
Ian Seymour walking down past the fans and into left field. His day is done as the YD Red Sox will go to a reliever in the 7th. Finishes with 6 innings of work and an outstanding outing. Just 1 hit and 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Now we're in the bottom of the 6th. Chris Gonzalez trying to work through the 6th inning himself. He will face the heart of this YD order, hitters 3, 4, and 5. Austin Wells, Noah Campbell, and Tate Samuelson. Ball 1 to the lefty Wells is outside.
And he's been effective against 3, 4, and 5. So far, only 1 hit, that coming to Tate Samuelson, his first time up, and that was an infield hit, just couldn't be fielded cleanly behind the bag by Cruz. So the heart of the order not looking like it right now.
The 1-0 is inside. Wells with a loud out in the 4th inning. It was a hard hit ball out to left field, but right at Tim Tawa. The 2-0. Fastball down the middle, strike 1.
Wells has gotten a little bit cold lately. He's now 1 for his last 10. 4 strikeouts over that span. But like you said, great contact his last time up. Could show that he's turning back the script and going to look like he usually does.
Another fastball for a strike. Chris Gonzalez pitch count is ridiculously low. Just 59 pitches.
Wild.
The 2-2. Upstairs, Wells goes around and fouls it back. 2-2 stays the count.
That's 59 pitches on 2 runs and 4 hits.
Yeah.
Seymour had a lot more pitches, granted a lot more strikeouts, but a lot more 3-ball counts too. Only allowed 1 hit.
The 2-2. Strike 3 at the knees. A strikeout looking, and just the first K of the night for Gonzalez to start off the bottom of the 6th inning.
Again, like I said, not throwing a lot of strikeouts will help your pitch count. Typically, when you don't throw a lot of strikeouts, it's bad news. But this time around, for Chris Gonzalez, it looks good. It means that he's getting early contact, and that's been the case. Early contact, but also getting outs. Last outing he had, he didn't really have any strikeouts. I think maybe he had 1 that he finished with. No, he finished with none, but he got slapped around. This time, not a lot of strikeouts, only the 1, but he's looking a lot sharper.
Noah Campbell shows bunt, pulls back, and takes a ball. He reached on an error in the 4th inning, but was left stranded there. Red Sox with a 2-0 lead. Both of those runs coming in the bottom of the 5th. A 2-out rally for YD. Hitters 8, 9, and 1 all got on base. Here is a fly ball into shallow right field. Could be trouble. It will land for a base hit, a bloop shot into right.
Again, Chris Gonzalez gets burned by a lucky hit. We saw that the first time through the order, where in the 2nd inning, a couple guys got on with infield singles, and Tate Samuelson was one of those guys. Now he gets a bloop single, so he's 2 for 3. Really could be 0 for 3. Pardon me, that was Noah Campbell, but he also got on with an error. So this middle of the lineup, not really getting hard swings per se, but they're getting on base with a little bit of luck.
Tate Samuelson, rising junior at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, steps in. 298 average during his sophomore year. He fouls away the first pitch towards the snack shack here at Red Wilson Field. Great crowd on hand on this Sunday night. We're in the heart of the Cape League season. YD 2nd in the East Division at 15, 11, and 2. Falmouth is at 3rd, 13, 11, and 1.
Yeah, both teams with pretty different records, but both playing very good baseball.
The 1-1 is a ball upstairs to Samuelson. Gonzalez back in the stretch. Campbell's going. Throw from Smith, and they got him dead to rights. He doesn't even slide. Tagged on the chest. And Noah Campbell says, oh, all right, shrugs his shoulders and heads back to the dugout. Nice throw by Smith. He initially bobbled the transfer.
Yeah, when he bobbled the transfer, I didn't see Campbell take off, but when Smith bobbled the transfer, I was thinking, oh, he's got no shot. And he throws it down to 2nd anyway. I look up towards 2nd, and Campbell isn't even contemplating a slide. He knows he's out. He must have either had a delayed steal, hesitated on the jump, maybe slipped a little bit, but something went wrong mid-run, and now he's going to talk it over with Coach Pickler to see what went wrong, because he probably should have had that base after the ball was bobbled.
1-2, smoke down the right field line. Deloach is over. He watches it foul. Two strikes, 2 outs, no runners on base after the caught stealing by Taylor Smith. A nice rifle down to 2nd base. Kevin Kendall applied the tag. Gonzalez shakes off his catcher. He's back in the windup. Starts his slow delivery and fires. Off speed, strike 3. Swing and a miss from Samuelson. His 2nd K of the inning from Gonzalez. And he faces the minimum in the 6th despite allowing the single. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. To the top of the 7th we go. You're listening to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Welcome back to Red Wilson Field. We head to the top of the 7th with the Doors trailing the Red Sox 2-0. Daniel LaRose joined alongside David Korzanowski. And right now, before we begin that top of the 7th, let's welcome back in the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Katie Florio, to give us a little insight on how the Doors were faring against Ian Seymour and what the game plan was with Seymour pitching so well. Katie.
Thanks, Danny. And we mentioned in pregame just how effective Ian Seymour has been all season long. He's continued to prove that tonight, has given up just one hit through these first 6 innings. That was Trei Cruz with a single in the 5th inning. But Tyler Ross just told me in the dugout that he has the ability to throw 3 different pitches for strikes in any count. So that command is what has really kept them off balance up to this point in the game.
Thank you, Katie, as Ian Seymour was dealing against the Commodores, but luckily for this Doors lineup, they will not have to face him anymore. As we mentioned, Seymour was yanked from the ballgame after a perfect 6th inning, allowing only 1 hit on the ballgame and no runs. So Ian Seymour's day and perhaps his season is now over because, David, as you mentioned before the game, this would probably be his final start for YD, seeing how his innings limits was getting there.
Yeah, according to the YD broadcasters, they said that's it for Seymour, and he went out on a great note.
Yeah.
Maybe an all-star snub, pitches in even 25 1/3 innings. And he's in line for the win. It would be his 2nd of the summer. He lowers that ERA to below 3 and ups his strikeout total on the summer to 39 in 25 innings. Insane stuff.
So the right-hander from St. Mary's College, Carlos Lamelli, will be called upon to follow up Seymour's brilliant outing. He'll have to face the heart of the order, Zach Deloach, Trei Cruz, and Taylor Smith. So not easy goings for Lamelli in his first inning of work in this ballgame. Heart of the order has been held 1 for 6. Only Cruz has reached base with a single, as the first pitch is a ball to Deloach. Lamelli, 1-1 record, 6.96 ERA on the summer. Falmouth has seen him once before, as he gets that one to just catch the knees, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, that was game 2 of the doubleheader, and he started 4 1/3 innings of work against the Doors on June 23rd, gave up 4 runs and 5 hits. So Falmouth was able to square him up pretty well.
Falmouth lost that game 8-4, but Lamelli maybe got bailed out by his bats. Ball skips in the dirt, and Deloach now ahead 2 balls to a strike. He's 0 for 2. We're in the 7th inning. It's only his 3rd at bat, which is really rare to see. I feel like we've been seeing these, top of the lineup for the Doors getting up 4 or 5 times a game recently. 2-1, bounced over towards the first base side and just foul.
Deloach had a late hit in the game yesterday. It was a double off the wall. He thought it was a home run off the bat, and so did most people in the park. Extended his hitting streak to 7 games, his 2nd 7-game hitting streak of the summer.
Wild.
That's insane.
What he's been able to do. Hits in 14 of 15 now. 2-2 from Lamelli. Outside for a ball, full count.
A .417 batting average coming into the day. You see a stat like that, you might think he doesn't have many at-bats, but he does. He's a consistent starter for Falmouth day in and day out. Over 75 ABs on the summer.
The payoff pitch to the team leader in average, taken on the outside corner, strike 3. Lamelli went with a backdoor breaking ball, punched out by Caraco was Deloach. He gives a little look back, now walks back towards the dugout, frustrated with that call.
Doors are striking out quite a bit in this game. You expect it against a guy like Seymour, but you want your leadoff hitter in the 7th inning against a new pitcher to try to get things going.
So 1 up, 1 down for Lamelli in this half inning. Trei Cruz now smacks one over towards the pulse side. That one goes well foul. Cruz 1 for 2. We've mentioned it a couple times, but he is the lone Commodore with a hit in this ball game. It's 2 runs on 5 hits for YD, no runs on 1 hit, and an error for Falmouth. Lamelli's 0-1. On the outside corner, it's 0-2 to Cruz. Trei batting from the left side now against the righty in Lamelli. First time today. Here's the pitch. Clubbed out into center field, and that one's going to fall for a hit. Brad Beesley comes in and keeps it in front of him, but Trei Cruz now reaches base his last 2 times up, both of them singles.
It's been the lone offense for Falmouth today. 2 hits for the Doors, both of them coming from Trei Cruz. We talked to him pregame about sort of his strategy at the plate. Now, 4th 2-hit game in his past 5 outings. He has a 5-game hit streak of his own. He's trying to get the Doors going.
Yeah, that's the most impressive thing. The fact that 4 of his last 5 games are now 2-hit affairs. I mean, that is a leadoff type guy. He's batting cleanup, though. Hasn't really had guys on base, though, all game. Taylor Smith now the hitter. Righty at Grayson County College watches a pitch settle in high.
Falmouth with those 8 strikeouts today. They're a team that does not strike out a lot. Tied for second fewest strikeouts as a batting order.
1-0 to Smith, and he's way out ahead of it, fouls it back. And that is definitely opposite of where they were back in June, where they were K'd up, more often than not. They were getting a lot of strikeouts against them early in the season. But when the bats heated up, so did the strikeouts. They kind of plummeted, and the Commodores were able to lessen that statistic while winning more games. Kind of obvious that would happen. 1-1 from Lamelli, off speed, and Taylor Smith takes such a big hack, he goes down to a back knee as he tries to make contact, but misses all the way.
Smith has worked some long counts. He worked a 2-2 count his first time up and then a full count in the 5th. Was K'd up both times. I think he just has to try to shorten that swing and put it in play.
He's always got that long ball swing, even when he's not swinging out of his shoes. We'll see if he shortens up the swing as he chokes up the hands just a little bit. Lamelli looking in after stepping off the rubber. Now comes set with the glove right at his belt. Here's the 1-2. Up high for a ball.
Lamelli, you mentioned from St. Mary's, had a really solid year. 10-2 record as a sophomore, 3.05 ERA in 88 2/3 innings of work.
Pickoff move over to first base, but Cruz is back in time. Doesn't look like he's going to steal. He's not really taking too big of a lead, and he's not too jumpy. Normally see when he and Cantrell are on the base paths ready to go, they're antsy, they're shaking. Cruz right now just with the hands on his knees and watching in towards Lamelli's hips. He is going on the 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, throw down to second base. That one gets away. Trei will hold up at second as it's retrieved by Wyatt Yound. Taylor Smith strikes out for the 3rd time tonight, but Cruz is on second with 2 outs.
How about that? My scorecard looking very similar in the 7th inning as it was in the 4th and the 5th. Deloach struck out 2 times now in his last 2 at-bats. Cruz singled and stole a base both times, and Taylor Smith, 3rd strikeout of the evening. He's having a tough night at the plate.
Now Troy Claunch, who's 0 for 2, will try to get at least 1 home for the Commodores. It was Cruz in scoring position back in the 5th, He led off that inning. He's stranded there. This time 2 outs and Cruz on second. All they need is 1 hit to try to cut the YD lead in half, who lead 2-0. First pitch off speed, right down the middle for a strike.
Claunch losing the batting gloves. First couple times he was up at the plate, he had batting gloves. He traditionally doesn't wear them. I think it was just the fact that it was so hot. His hands probably so sweaty. In his first couple at bats, he needed some extra traction.
The 0-1. Off speed again, but that time it breaks way outside.
Claunch had a big home run against Brewster to tie the game when the starter was outstanding in Matt Mikulski. That was 3-3 1 week ago on July 6th. A swing here could do the same.
It's a small ballpark, too. 1-1. Takes a big hack at a pitch below the knees. Probably would have been ball 2. Instead, it counts as strike number 2.
Popped out to the pitcher his last time up. Lamelli's looking really good right now. Both of these pitchers keeping their pitches low, making it tough for the Doors to put it in play.
Lamelli now with 17 pitches on the inning, as he's had to be careful with Cruz on the base paths. A ball and 2 strikes to Troy Claunch, and the righty from Oregon State is going to call for time. Chris Lamelli, an ERA just south of 7. Only had 4 appearances on the summer, and the worst one was against these Commodores. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Went with a fastball about letter high, and Troy Claunch goes down swinging for the 2nd time tonight. The Commodores score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they strand a runner on second base as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, still 2-0 YD on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
Shane Drohan is going to come into today's game in the bottom of the 7th inning to try to put down YD, keep this thing 2-0. He'll face Riley King, Jake Palmer, Andrew Eyster. So Chris Gonzalez's day is done. We'll run through Gonzalez's line because it was impressive. 6 innings of work, 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. First pitch fouled off by King. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. So a lot of contact, but a lot of outs for Gonzalez, as now Shane Drohan will try to mimic that performance.
Those 2 strikeouts might not jump out to you.
0-1 back up the middle, and this one is going to be fielded on the backhand by Cruz, but he's got absolutely no play. King, with plenty of speed, has his second infield hit of the ballgame.
Those 2 strikeouts from Gonzalez might not jump out to you over 6 innings, but he had his 2 biggest Ks in the 6th inning. Really, when he needed to get out of the inning, his pitch count was getting up there. Struck out the 3-hitter looking to start the inning, and then Tate Samuelson swinging to end it.
So Shane Drohan allows a leadoff single. He now, through 3 appearances, this being his 3rd, has never gone longer than an inning and a third. And he's now allowed a hit in every single outing. 0-1 to the left-handed Andrew Eyster, or pardon me, Jake Palmer, is taken for a strike.
His last time out, he looked shaky against Katuitt. Came into a 4-1 ball game in favor of the Kettleers. Pitched just 1 inning, but gave up 2 runs. Walked 1 and struck out none.
He allowed 2 hits over that 1 inning. Fires a fastball upstairs to Palmer, who's 0 for 2. Ground ball double play in the 2nd inning with 2 runners on and 1 out. Also grounded out to first back in the 5th. That 5th inning, the lone run scored for YD started off 2 really quick outs on a pop out and a ground out. Breaking ball just slips out of the hand, it looks like, from Drohan as it settled in above the helmet of Palmer.
Drohan and the Seminoles making it to Omaha this year. He's a rising junior. Had a 3.66 ERA during his sophomore season and a 3-1 record in just over 50 innings of work.
Here's the 2-1. Palmer claps it over towards first, and Troy Claunch tries to dive and smother it. Can't come up with it. Ball goes to Zach Deloach in right field. He throws down to third. Tag applied by Moretto. A lot closer of a play than expected, but Riley King slides headfirst safely. Going first to third on the Jake Palmer single into right, and runners on the corners with nobody out for the Red Sox here in the 7th.
Drohan continues to get hit hard. He was having trouble finding the strike zone. Throws one over the middle of the plate to Palmer, who made no mistake, pulled it down the first base side. I thought Claunch had a play there. Didn't look too athletic on the dive. Couldn't get over to his right quick enough. We know that Claunch, a traditional catcher, is playing first base tonight.
So now Drohan already in a tough situation, letting up back-to-back singles to start off the 7th. He'll face Andrew Eyster, who's 0 for 1, and desperate for a hit. First pitch to Eyster, the right-hander, taken below the knees.
Eyster, 1 for his last 24 entering the game. We mentioned how he's really had a fall from grace since the last time the Commodores saw him. He was hitting .314 when these two teams squared off in late June. .364. But his average now way down to .226.
The pitch. That one is rocketed into center field, and he does have a hit. Drohan allows 3 straight singles here in the 7th inning, brings home a run for the Red Sox. Shane looking shaky throughout his first 3 appearances on the summer.
Well, we talked about how good those starting pitchers were tonight in Seymour and Gonzalez. Even a 2-0 game still felt extremely close. And then the bullpen comes in, and it was just about which of the relievers would look better. So far, Lamelli winning that battle as Drohan has come out and given up a run and 3 straight hits. Still nobody out here with a runner in scoring position.
First pitch to R.J. Yeager, bunted up the first base line. Claunch fields it, throw down to first base with Cruz covering, gets away as the throw was low. A run's going to come home, and both base runners will advance to third and to second. An error on the throw from Claunch, and Yeager gets second base, still nobody out.
Claunch coming in on the bunt. I think he was upset that Trei Cruz wasn't immediately over at first base covering the bag. He lagged a little bit getting over to first, and then Claunch had to rush the throw. It was low and towards the bag, leaks up into right field.
2 runs home on the inning, 1 on an RBI single, 1 on an error. Looks like they gave Yeager a hit, but he was dead to rights if Claunch threw a strike to Trei Cruz.
And I think even if you rule it a hit, it still should be a throwing error for the scoring the run.
The run wouldn't have scored, exactly. Breaking ball sits at the knees to Wyatt Young, who now has 2 ducks in scoring position and nobody out. Drohan, if you listen to the scorer here at YD, 4 straight singles allowed. Already Zach Brixey has gone and warmed up in the bullpen. Here's the 0-1, fouled back. And you mentioned how Florida State made it to Omaha, Drohan part of that team, and nothing against Shane Drohan, but started to show some signs of pause late in the season. He did not pitch at all in their postseason run.
Yeah.
From the ACC tournament on, he only pitched in the regular season, did not appear in the ACC tournament or beyond, and that was a lot of time for Drohan to be sitting down. So getting a lot of action in the summer, just arriving in July. But so far, a little rough. Here's the 0-2 to Young, and he throws it about neck high.
That's the bottom of the order too, Danny. Now you got Wyatt Young, who is responsible for the first 2 runs that scored in this game with the double in the 5th. Smell blood in the water trying to pour it on here in the 7th inning.
One and 2 the count to the left-handed swinging Young. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, but that is way too high to the 5-7 shortstop. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. 4-0 ball game in favor of YD. This thing was 0-0 through 4 complete innings. Even 2 outs into the 5th, and then 1 single from Wyatt Young made it 2-0. Now a couple of mistakes here in the 7th have made it 4-0. The pitch. Just outside. Oh my goodness, Young has such a good eye.
Yeah, he's everything you want in a leadoff man. Has some extra base hits, but doesn't rely on them. Great contact hitter. Average above 375.
He's got the winning runs for YD, trying to add more insurance. Full count. Drohan from the stretch. Kicks and fires home. Foul ball.
Looking more at Drohan's season, you mentioned it, Danny. Didn't pitch after May 21st against Wake Forest, in which he just went 2 1/3. Really, those walk numbers pretty high this season for Drohan. 48 walks. He had a handful of games where he was walking 3+ batters in just about 3 innings of work each time.
Trying to avoid a walk right here to Young with the count full. Payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. 5 straight hitters to lead off the inning in the 7th have gotten on base against Shade Drohan, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. 2 runs already home.
Just feels like a completely different game than the one we saw about 45 minutes ago. Gonzalez And Seymour getting out of the inning so quickly. There was one point in the game where they both had faced just 2 over the minimum. Relievers come in for YD and Lamelli, and he doesn't miss a beat, but Drohan, the exact opposite.
Shane stuck between a rock and a hard place with the bases loaded and the heart of the order coming up for YD. Right now it's the 2-hitter Brad Beesley who fouls the first pitch fastball back into the fence. He's 0 for 3. Quiet outs pretty much every time. A fly out to right that was shallow and a couple of ground outs after that. Brad came into tonight batting .253 with 6 RBIs and an opportunity to collect more. Breaking ball up high. They check if he went. No, he did not, says first base umpire Mike Chamberlain.
Beasley 0 for 3 tonight, but there's a reason he's in the 2 spot. He's been a hotter bat as of late. In the 1-1 tie against Chatham 2 nights ago, he and Wyatt Yound had all 4 hits for YD. Beasley was 3 for 4.
The 1-1. Downstairs off the chest protector of Taylor Smith. Great block. That one skipped well in front of home plate and also right in front of the feet of Beesley. So that was pretty far into the right-handed batter's box. Not only did Smith have to get down and dirty, he had to get himself over a couple of strides, and he was able to do so. 2-1 the count as the sun quickly setting, completely behind that press box now, so most of the field pretty dull light. 2-1 on the inside corner. Fastball is a strike. We've got about an hour, 10 or 15 until sun is completely set in Massachusetts. Still a couple innings to be played, but right now looking at a pretty complete game. Here's the 2-2 from Drohan. That one misses for a ball, and the count is full again.
You can tell Drohan frustrated with himself. He's now thrown 21 pitches, still has yet to get an out.
Bases are juiced with nobody out on a 3-2 count. Nowhere to put Beesley. The payoff pitch from Drohan. Fastball inside, ball 4. Looked good, but it just misses, and a run will come home, the 3rd of the inning.
Need a mound visit here if you're Mike Landry. Just go out and talk to him. You don't have to go to the bullpen right now, but he's clearly floundering out there. First 6 batters to come to the plate have all reached, and just like that, Mike Landry is going out to the mound.
I'm surprised he didn't go out after the single from Eyster. When it was 3 straight singles, I was expecting him to come out and maybe try to talk down his pitcher. Now he will after 3 runs have come home, thanks to 3, if you count the RJ Yeager bunt, 4 singles, and then Young and Beesley with back-to-back walks. This game quickly getting out of hand for the Doors as the wheels are coming off. They're now trailing 5-0, and their bats haven't been very active either. Only 2 hits compared to YD's 9.
Yeah, 9 hits for the Red Sox, 5 runs scored. It's a team that it's just a matter of time before they get going offensively. 3rd in the Cape League in batting average, 2nd in hits, 3rd in runs scored. One of the better offensive teams in the league. And I think when everyone's firing and the pitching settles down, I think they're one of the best teams in the East, if not the league. But really the difference in their wins and losses has been that pitching.
Yeah. Landry has convened the mound meeting, and Drohan will stay out there to face the bases loaded against the left-handed 3-hitter Austin Wells. Wells with 6 home runs on the summer. That leads the Cape, or did lead the Cape. I think Nico Cavadas might have caught up to him and gotten ahead of him after he hit 3 dingers last night. But regardless, Wells a power hitter, facing a 1-0 count after the first pitch breaking ball misses outside. A home run here would be a grand slam, and it would probably mean the ball game. This breaking ball settles on the corner, 1-1.
Yeah, Wells 2nd in the Cape League in home runs with 6. You mentioned Nico Cavadas, now up to 7.
So Nico only had 4 yesterday, and Wells was leading the Cape League comfortably. Here's the 1-1. Fastball clobbered out towards left field, but way foul.
That sounded good off the bat. That was a loud pop.
One-two count. We've seen Drohan get ahead of a couple of hitters, specifically Wyatt Yound. Then he fell behind him and walked him. Need to throw strikes right here with nowhere to put Wells, and already one run in thanks to a walk. Here's the pitch. Late swing on a breaking ball, and Wells taps it just foul.
Off speed from Drohan. Pretty good pitch, but Wells doing a good job to fight it off and stay alive. He's 0 for 3 today. It seems like a matter of time before he puts one into the field of play. Gets on base. Again, that loud out in the 4th. Out to Tim Tawa in left field.
Struck out his last time. Drohan looking for one here, and he gets it. A called strike 3 on a big 12-6 curveball. Puts down Austin Wells looking for the first out of the 7th.
Big strikeout, but you're not out of dodge yet. Cleanup man comes up, who's reached base twice. Base is still loaded. Double play here is obviously ideal to keep this thing within reach. 5-0 already feels like a big enough deficit.
The Gamecock from South Carolina, Noah Campbell, will try to break this game open. Again, 5-0 feels like a huge deficit, but if the Doors bats can get hot, anything can happen. Fastball for a strike at the knees, 0-1. The other side of things, if Noah Campbell puts even one off the fence, this game could be all but over.
I mean, you got to remember, too, with just one out, even a sac fly scores another run.
Yeah.
Ground ball, depending on where it's hit, could score one.
Drohan comes set with the glove perched in front of the letters on his chest. Here's the 0-1, a breaking ball. Again, it stays very high. Just looks like his breaking pitches, save maybe the punch-out pitch to Wells, have not been coming out of his hand right.
Yeah, the command is just not there for the lefty from FSU. Now almost 30 pitches, 13 balls, 16 strikes.
Infield is back, hoping for a double play to end the inning. Drohan's 1-1. Another off-speed pitch, and again, it's outside, or inside, pardon me. This time it was low and inside, so a little bit of a better sign.
By far the longest half inning we've seen. Before this, the most batters that a team had put up at the plate was 6, YD in the 5th inning. This is now the 8th batter with just one out.
The pitch, that is clobbered into center field, right at Blake Dunn, who catches it on a run. His throw into home, not going to be cut off. It's going to go through, and Taylor Smith can't corral it. It gets behind him. Drohan was not covering behind home plate, so both runners are going to be able to advance. Wyatt Yound over to third, Brad Beesley on to second, as a sac fly has brought home run number 6 for the Red Sox.
Pretty good throw from Blake Dunn on a couple hops to Taylor Smith. He's got to block that ball, make sure it doesn't get past him, because Wyatt Yound now moves over to third, and over to second is Brad Beesley.
It took a sudden skip on him up towards his midsection and just got underneath the glove and between the leg, it looked like. Now Tate Samuelson will be the hitter, the 9th man up for the Red Sox in this inning. Strike number 1 is a fastball in the inside corner.
YD is going to bat around here in the 7th. Samuelson had the first hit of this ball game in the bottom of the 2nd inning with the single.
The 0-1. Way out ahead of it, and he just nubs it foul off the end of the bat. It was Riley King starting things off, as you mentioned, with a single. It was an infield single. Then 3 more in a row. Brought home 1 run, followed up by 2 walks back-to-back. Brought in another run, and then a sacrifice fly. 4 runs on this inning. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball, chopped foul.
Just need to end this inning. Looking for a punch-out pitch from Drohan. Maybe go back to that fastball, keep it outside.
It is 0-2, 2 outs. Does feel like the inning's about to end, but one swing of the bat could change the script. The pitch. Way upstairs.
He's just so wild. I mean, some of his off-speed has been nowhere close. Fastball, especially at the beginning of the inning, way upstairs.
Drohan came into tonight with an 11.59 ERA. That's going to balloon. Tough summer through 3 outings. The 1-2. Ground ball towards short. Fielded by Kendall. Throw on to first. In time, 6-3 putout puts this inning to an end. But YD, they pounce, and they get Drohan for 4 runs thanks to 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 runners left.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu. Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Top of the 8th we go in Yarmouth Dennis. Daniel LaRose and David Korzenowski here at Red Wilson Field. 6-0 lead for the Red Sox as ball 1 is fired below the knees to Tyler Ross. YD on the cusp of winning this season series 3-1. These two teams split a doubleheader at Gov Fuller Field on June 23rd. Then in early July faced off here at Red Wilson. YD won 4-3. Ross fouls that one away to make it 1-1.
And it would be the first series that the Commodores have lost. They split with the Harwich Mariners. That season series is now done. They won against Chatham 3-1. So foul ball goes up the first baseline. And then I believe every other series still in progress. Commodores will not lose the season series to Brewster, so they've already won 2 games. Still up in the air against Orleans, and obviously every team in the West, they still have to play a few more times.
1-2 the count to Tyler Ross, the switch hitter batting from the left side for the first time today as he pounds one into the ground over towards second, takes a funky hop on RJ Yeager. He leaps up, squeezes it, throws to first just a step ahead of Ross for out number 1.
And really looking at the score sheet, nothing going for the Commodores offensively. They've just had 3 base runners in this game. Cruz twice and Ross on the walk in the 5th inning. That's been it.
Yeah, we can look at the pitching in the 7th inning and say, hey, a 4 spot, that doesn't, help anything. But the hitting definitely has not done enough. Here's a fly ball to the opposite field off the bat of Stephen Moretto. Palmer, the right fielder, trots over, but he watches that one go foul. No ball, 1 strike to the Sacramento State Hornet, who's 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs. Had a game-tying home run last night in inning number 7. He went 3 for 4 against Brewster. Watches a ball up high. Previous to that game against Brewster was 1 for his last 12, so he's brought his batting average back over 200. The 1-1. Grounded towards short. Young is there. Makes the play and throws over to first in time. A 6-3 putout, and the Doors continue to go quietly.
Yeah, not much else to add. We haven't really seen many hard-hit balls tonight for Falmouth either. Just those singles from Cruz. That's been about it.
Kevin Kendall now will walk up to home plate and wipe away some dirt on the left-handed batter's box. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a loud fly out to right field in the 6th. Probably the hardest hit ball that we had seen all game. First, we're going to get a mound visit. It looks like it's Steve Pickler who's going to talk with the entire infield and Chris Lamelli. Not sure if this will be Lamelli's final batter or if he's already faced his final batter. And looks like he has already faced his final batter. The Red Sox have Lamelli go 1 2/3, and with 2 outs and nobody on in the 8th inning, they are going to bring in a reliever. We'll head to a break as the new pitcher warms up. We'll be right back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Jacob Winger is the reliever coming on for Carlos Lamelli for YD. First pitch swinging is Kevin Kendall against Winger as he bounces one over towards second. Close play on a low throw, scooped out of the dirt at first base successfully by Samuelson, and Kevin Kendall is put down on only one pitch. The Doors go down in order in the 8th as they hit 3 straight groundouts to make it easy on YD pitching. We head to the bottom of the 8th, 6-0 in favor of the Red Sox.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Course of the season,
Right.
but it seems like when you face them back to back to back, it is always a lot tougher. Ball number 1 comes in way high from Zach Brixey. He's pitching to Riley King, who is 2 for 3. Started off the big 7th for YD with a single.
Brixey, one of 2 active pitchers who has not allowed a run yet this summer.
1-0 is pummeled into center field, and that ball is way out of here to dead center, and just like that, Zach Brixey has allowed his first earned run of the summer as Riley King goes yard to improve to 3 for 4 and make this 7-0 in favor of the Sox.
Loud crack off the bat. You could have heard that one from a mile away, and that was a no-doubter. Absolute shot to dead center field. Austin Maisel, the defensive substitution out in center, could do nothing except watch it into the trees. Ball was killed.
Zach Brixey before then 1-0 with a perfect ERA at 0. 5 appearances, 3 saves, 5 innings of work, 5 Ks. Check swing on an up-and-in pitch. Jake Palmer went around, says Joe Caraco. 0-1 to the right fielder. And David, it's something that we said mid-game that our pregame prediction, or like difference maker we called it, was get to Ian Seymour, knock him out of the game, try to get to this YD bullpen. And then when we saw the pitching duel, I made the comment that, and here's the 0-1, it's a strike. I made the comment that it seems like whoever's the first pitcher to get knocked out of the game, that team is going to be able to capitalize. And it's been YD. Once Chris Gonzalez left this game with the Doors trailing 2-0, the bullpen has not been able to support him very much. 0-2 from Brixey. Fastball cut on and missed as he rears back and maybe at the triple digits on that. I mean, we know he can do it, and Palmer was way behind the fastball.
Yeah, his fastball's hit 100 before, and you can tell he had some little extra oomph on it after giving up the home run. That's got to be your strategy when you're up at the plate against Brixey, though, is just start swinging early, because if you get contact on a pitch that's in the mid to high 90s, it's going to go a distance like King displayed.
Jack Thomas Wold is now going to come up to the plate as a pinch hitter for Andrew Eyster. Left-handed swinging bat. He plays at UNLV. From the windup, Brixey fires a fastball that's fouled back. Another point about Brixey, that home run was the first hit he had allowed since his first appearance at Chatham on June 12th. Otherwise, 4 straight innings, all separate appearances in which he worked hitless outings. 0-1, breaking ball does not break.
Wold, who's up at the plate for YD, 239 average on the summer, 4 doubles, 1 home run of his own. He's got 11 RBIs.
The 1-1 from the Hokie to the Rebel, fouled away up and over the left field bleachers.
He had a great year during his sophomore year out at UNLV. 340 average, 9 doubles, 6 home runs, 32 RBIs. Had a 3-double game in mid-March.
The 1-2 from Zach. Fouled off yet again towards that opposite field. He's going with a lot of fastballs down, and Wold is just barely making contact. Jack is normally a starter for YD. 71 at-bats on the summer. This is his 72nd. Another attempt at 1-2. Another fastball. It is slowly croaked over towards short. Kevin Kendall on the run. Flips one sidearm to Jackson Coots, who has subbed into the game for Troy Claunch. That's the second out of the inning on a 6-3 putout.
We also have Austin Langworthy out in left field, so some changes for Jeff Trundy's squad in this 7-0 ball game. Deloach still stays out in right.
Mentioned that Maisel had subbed in to center field. He was on deck when Kendall was at the plate, ready to hit for Blake Dunn last half inning. First pitch off speed from Brixey for a strike, and Yeager, the batter, was completely fooled by that. I think he was looking fastball all the way, and he was ready to swing early. Instead, he got one well slower. 0-1. That's another great pitch at the knee, swung on and missed.
Yeager's had a pretty good day, though. Ups that average a little bit with 2 hits and 2 runs scored.
Those coming in his last 2 at-bats. The last hit, a bunt. 0-2. Ground ball again towards Kevin Kendall, this time closer towards second base, but another great sidearm throw. Jackson Coots with a good stretch, and back-to-back 6-3 putouts put down the Red Sox. But the leadoff man, Riley King, hits a solo shot to dead center on the 1 run and 1 hit, no errors, no runners left on base to put YD ahead 7-0 heading into the last chance for Falmouth. They need 7 runs to push this thing to extras.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
before we get to the top of the 9th inning, we're here in Yarmouth, so we might as well travel to some eastern locations,
Let's
to
do
some
it.
western locations. We're about halfway through the Cape,
Oh, yeah.
at least for these teams. So we're all in our cartoon red car, and we're going to drive around. David, where are you taking me?
So there are 5 intra-division matchups tonight. So every team in the West Division playing a foe in the East. The one closest to us, Wareham and Brewster, in a very close matchup. Wareham on top of the Whitecaps in the top of the 6th, 4-3. Then out at Chatham, that game just getting underway between Hyannis and Chatham. Second night in a row that they're going up against each other. 0-0 in the bottom of the 1st. Harwich is down to Bourne 2-1 in the top of the 8th inning. Very low-scoring game out there. And then the last one, Cotuit and Orleans playing at Lowell Park. Orleans just put up 5 runs in the top of the 6th to tie it 6-6 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Foul ball from Maisel. So a handful of very close games tonight. All of the games right now decided by just 1 run or tied. Except for here.
Falmouth needing some help from some of their eastern friends. Orleans tied up with Cotuit. That could really help the Doors if the Firebirds win that ball game and keep Cotuit pointless today. And then Wareham only a run up on Brewster as this ball settles outside to make the count even 1-1. So if Brewster can come back in that 4-3 ball game and try to win at home over Wareham, again, could pay dividends for Falmouth, who have now dropped a couple of points behind Wareham. Still a lot of games left to be made up for the Doors. 1-1 to Austin Maisel, who came in and subbed in at center field last half inning as he is completely fooled on a big curve.
Substitution for the Red Sox as well, with Noah Cardenas as the catcher from UCLA wearing that bright blue gear.
Teammate of Kevin Kendall's. Here's the 1-2. Popped up into shallow right field. RJ Yeager calls for it. That one settles into his mitt easily for out number 1. Doors have not really put up too many hard hit balls all ball game. Can really only think of the Cruz singles and maybe 1 flyout.
Yeah, tough night for Falmouth. I mean, the two hits on the scoreboard make it obvious enough. And then Gonzalez with a great outing, but the bullpen sputtering a little bit in the 7th has been the difference.
It was a pitcher's duel through the first half of the ball game, but right now it's 7-0 in favor of YD. Close to blowout territory. First pitch strike comes over to Austin Langworthy. He bounced into left field last half inning. Subbing in for Tim Tawa, who was 0 for 3. Still facing Jacob Winger. He got the 3rd and final out of the 8th, throwing only 1 pitch. Winger from High Point lets up a high fly ball to Langworthy, but this one not with enough distance into right field. Catch will be made for out number 2 by Palmer.
So Zach Deloach up as the last chance for the Commodores yet again. He was up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning last night, grounded out to second base. Barron Radcliffe, pinch hit substitution due up next if Deloach can get it to him. Danny, I want to go back to a point I had earlier in the broadcast, which is about how on and off YD's been.
First pitch to Zach Deloach, trying to extend that hit streak in his last chances, fouled back.
So last night they lose 15-3 to Orleans. They had a 11-run loss earlier in the week against Wareham, and they have some big wins as well, winning 13-1 against Hyannis. Really, their success comes and goes with their pitching.
Yeah.
When they have guys like Seymour and Lamelli on the mound, they are in a great position as another foul ball from Deloach, but it's really the depth in their starting rotation and the bullpen that decides if they win or lose a game.
This bullpen arm Winger has been awesome all season. .84 ERA through 6 appearances, trying to work a perfect 7th appearance and get 4 up, 4 down. He's gotten 2 strikes against Deloach. Doors are down to their final strike. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Zach's hitting streak comes to an end at 7 games for the 2nd time this season. He falls to 0 for 4. Falmouth goes down in order in the 8th and in the 9th as they lose this one in convincing fashion to the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox 7-0.
Tough day for the Doors, Danny. I don't even know where to start. Where do you want to start?
I say we start with the pitching because the first half of the game was so intense. It was flying by. I mean, those first 3 innings took 30 minutes total. That's incredible. And I thought this game was going to be, a 90-minute affair. We're still finishing at 7:15, which is pretty early for any baseball game. And it was because Chris Gonzalez was dealing for the Doors, getting a lot of early outs on low counts. And then on the other end of things, Ian Seymour, I mean, he was striking out like everybody.
Yeah, he had his best performance of the summer. I think the best pitching performance we've seen, and that's saying something because we saw Mac Lardner out at Bourne. He was dealing last Monday. We saw Logan Allen a couple times earlier this summer. But Seymour goes 6 innings, allows just 3 base runners, a hit and a walk, 7 strikeouts. He was absolutely magnificent, gets his second win of the summer. He goes off the Cape, as tonight was his last start of the summer, on a fantastic note. Tip the cap to Ian Seymour.
On the other end of the spectrum, the hitting for Falmouth, pretty non-existent as they score no runs on only 2 hits, both of them coming from one man, Trei Cruz. Yeah, Ian Seymour was brilliant throughout most of this game. Then they bring in Lamelli, who Falmouth hit around quite a bit in one of his starts at Falmouth. They couldn't get anything going against him, and then Winger for the final 4 outs was perfect. So this Falmouth lineup, which has been so potent recently, put up 15 runs against Chatham a couple nights ago, followed up the next day in a rain-shortened game that ended up getting washed. They scored 7 runs in an inning and a third, and then yesterday didn't put up too many. They only scored 3 on a couple of hits, and then today couldn't really do much either.
I think the message will probably be similar from Jeff Trundy as it was when they lost 14-0 to Bourne. It's just like sometimes you're going to run into pitchers like that, and you're going to have nights like this. The bats are still good. They still, in their past 10 games, have come alive. I don't think that this is anything that's here to stay. I think it's just every once in a while you're going to face a team and a rotation that's better than you on that night. Seymour, Lamelli, and Winger tonight were outstanding.
And finally, unfortunately for the Doors, is the bullpen is starting to show some flaws. We saw Thomas Gerard get tagged with his first loss, allowing the first runs of his summer. Zach Brixey doesn't really come in an important situation, down 6-0 in the last inning for Falmouth in the field, but he lets up his first run of the season, and Shane Drohan had a day to forget, allowing 4 runs in 1 inning of work. So the bullpen really showing some flaws, some drawbacks in the last couple of games. What do you think it's going to take for them to resettle back in? Because you need a good bullpen if you're going to make a stretch run.
Yeah, I think it's just getting out there and getting reps. There's not much else to do, right? You just have to work with Coach Landry and try to limit those inconsistent outings. We've seen guys like Logan Hoffman be really locked down. Aiden Maldonado's been great as of late. So they just have to rely on those guys maybe a little bit more and hope that the rest of the bullpen follows suit.
So the final score here from Red Wilson Field, 7-0 in favor of the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox as they improve to 16-11-1. Falmouth Commodores dropped this one, scoring no runs on only 2 hits. They committed 3 errors as well. So that not looking pretty either in that department. Pretty much an all-around dominant performance from YD as the Doors have dropped back-to-back games for the first time, it feels like, in a long time. Typically, we've seen Falmouth winning a lot lately. They dropped to 13-13-1, just about 500 on the summer. Winning pitcher is Ian Seymour. Losing pitcher is Chris Gonzalez. So for the final time tonight, 7-0 in favor of YD. We're saying so long from Red Wilson Field. For my broadcast partner, David Korsanowski, our sideline reporter, Katie Florio, and my producer, Jamie Miller, I'm Danny LaRose.